FlossTube friends, this is Tina Frazier coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. Today is Saturday, March 21st at approximately 11:25 p.m. Eastern Time, coming to you today with a FlossTube update. So, thank you very much for stopping by. If you're new to my channel, this is my YouTube channel where I share my love of mostly cross-stitch, but other crafts that I do, including diamond painting and punch needle and melty bead crafts and all kinds of other crafts that I enjoy, including crochet and the like. And I also share a little bit about some of my other hobbies, including gaming, board and video games, geocaching, ghost hunting, and just other fun hobbies that I have in common with a bunch of friends of mine. And I welcome you to my channel. So thank you very much for stopping by. I always like meeting new friends, and I'm really glad you're here. If you're a returning watcher, thank you very much for stopping by again. I'm glad to rekindle and meet back up with friends that I know here on YouTube. So thank you very much for stopping back by. Hopefully, all of you will get something out of this video, either being enabled to try a new craft, to purchase something new, to just kind of get started in general with crafting or hobbies, or you just need somebody to listen to as you go about your daily lives, or just, you want to have somebody to craft to and listen to in the background as you do your chores. So I encourage you, if you haven't already, to click the subscription button below and also click the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload new content. And if you're a returning subscriber, my subscribers are really good friends, and I really, really, truly appreciate all of my friends here on YouTube. And I'm really glad that you have stuck around and that you have chose to follow me. So thank you very much for being here. I really value my friendships that I make with the people in my life. So thank you. Thank you so much. A little bit about the channel, though. If you're new to YouTube and you're new to FlossTube in particular, FlossTube is a subset of YouTube where crafters and creators like me share our love of cross stitch. We use embroidery floss to cross stitch most generally, and that is why we call our videos here on YouTube FlossTube, because we use embroidery floss to do our craft. So thank you very much for stopping by. Today's video, I am going to share with you a little bit of cross-stitching updates for March, and also some remaining plans for the rest of the month, including plans for April and May. And also I'm going to be sharing with you some life updates kind of thrown in. We'll probably do the life updates at the beginning of the video. And then I'm going to share with you a little bit about punch needle and also some stitching haul that I have received. And we will kind of go from there. So I encourage you at this point in time to take a quick break if you have to. Go use the restroom, grab something to drink, grab your favorite piping hot caffeinated beverage, as one of my favorite streamers, Adam the Woo, would have said, and come with me on this journey, shall you? I shall be sharing my love of cross stitch with you today, and a little bit of punch needle and whatnot. So grab a drink, grab a project, grab whatever you want to do, grab a book, put your headphones on and start your chores, go sit outside and enjoy the nice weather. Just kind of sit back and take a listen. So here we go. So the first little bit that I kind of want to talk to you about is a little bit of life update. So had a really big milestone this week in my life. I turned 55 on this past Wednesday, March 18th. It was my 55th birthday. 55 years traveling around the sun. So had a really good birthday. I took the day off. Mom and I went to our local cross stitch store here in Columbus, Cross My Heart, and we did a little shopping. I snagged us some lunch, and then my husband, my mom, and I met about 12 of our friends at the local hot pot and Korean barbecue restaurant here in town that my husband and I recently found for our anniversary. and we had a very nice, lovely evening sitting around the table, talking and cooking food and eating and just enjoying each other's company. Um, for the last, I don't know, probably 10 years or more, I've been choosing to go to dinner with friends. I set up a small little Facebook event, and we usually invite anywhere from about 12 to 20 people, depending on who is on our list that year. And we just kind of meet for dinner, and whoever can come shows up, and we all just kind of hang out and enjoy each other's company for dinner. And it's kind of been kind of my annual thing to do on my birthday. So this year I celebrated 55. So, scary thought that I am actually retirement age now. Can't retire, federal government wise, but I am retirement age, you guys. I have my AARP card. I've had that for a couple of years now. And pretty soon here, I can get my golden Buckeye card. I might even be able to get that this year. But yeah, scary to think that, I'm old enough for senior benefits. Scary that. So yeah, the other thing that kind of has hit me rather hard in the last couple of weeks. If you watch my previous update video, you know that a couple weeks ago, I performed a funeral for our friend John. May he rest in peace. Um, but it was my first and hopefully only funeral that I will ever officiate, and we've been losing some friends left and right. I found out one of my husband's coworker, or not really coworker per se, but a friend of his boss's, a friend of my husband's boss, a really good friend that everybody in the company has known for many, many, many years, probably more than 10 or 20 years. Um, he also passed away about the same time our friend John did. And I just found out about that on Wednesday, and really sad. A couple other friends, a couple other people that I know have also passed away. There's also been a lot of celebrity deaths this week, and Chuck Norris was one of them. And there's just been a lot of loss, a lot of death, expected or unexpected. And it kind of put into light that I'm not getting any younger, and there's some end of life considerations that I probably have to start making, including getting a will and some other stuff like that. So, the next 9 months to a year or two, I'm probably going to be taking some of those end of life steps to start making sure that all of my effects are in order, just in case. I mean, because you never really know if and when it'll happen. I honestly hope that I have about 40 more years. I'd like to live 40 more years. I have a lot of stuff that I want to still do. I have a lot of things I want to experience. And I would really like to be around that much longer, at least, so I can experience everything. So the more that I get my effects in order, I think it'll kind of ease that burden, you know, um, later on. So I'm going to be kind of looking into that. So a little bit of kind of a reality check kind of hit me this week as well. So yeah, there's that. So thank you very much for just letting me show a little emotion. Um, it's generally been a good week though. It's just, along with getting older also comes certain realizations about immortality and life expectancy and all that. So, um, and just being prepared and making sure that the family is prepared. Um, but anyway, so some of the other things that's been going on. So the week before my birthday, the weekend before my birthday, my husband and I went to our small local game convention, Buckeye Game Fest, which is a small local board game convention here in town. And I volunteered to work on Thursday and Friday, and then we spent Thursday, Friday, and Saturday board gaming with a bunch of friends. We had a great time, enjoyed it immensely, played a bunch of new games, new to us games, and came home with a stack of about 20 games or so that aren't necessarily new. We got them in the consignment shop, and I won 2 games in the play to win and the raffle. But anyway, we came home with a small stack of games that we get to play with mom and teach a couple of friends. Um, Hopefully, we have found some gems for a decent price, and we're looking forward to getting into those. Also, um, coming up this coming weekend, not today and tomorrow, but coming up next weekend is the USA Jigsaw Puzzle Association USA National Championships held down in Georgia. They're happening on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Atlanta. And it's the USA Jigsaw Nationals. It's jigsaw speed puzzling. So there is a way to watch the live streams starting Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. for the opening ceremonies, and the puzzle competitions last until about 6:30 or so on Friday. Saturday they start at 9 a.m. and go until about 6:30, and Sunday it starts at 9 a.m. and goes until about 6:30 again. The closing ceremonies are Sunday at 5:30. So if anybody's interested, please let me know in the comments, and I can what I'll do is probably just put the live stream link, the YouTube and Twitch links in the description box below if you're interested in following along with speed puzzling, in case that's something that you want to maybe get into. My husband and, well, I am more interested in speed puzzling than my husband, and there are some events coming up that I have been interested in participating in. Um, there is a solo competition, or like a speed puzzle competition down in the Cincinnati area coming up in July. And I've been considering signing up to participate, to compete in that. So we shall see. Also, coming up in June, the Origins Game Fair, which is our huge local board board game convention, excuse me. Origins Game Fair usually has about 15 to 20,000 people in attendance every year. There will be a speed puzzling competition at Origins Game Fair again this year, and looking forward to kind of getting into that, and also playing more board games with a bunch of friends, seeing some friends I haven't seen in quite a long time, and just reconnecting with some people that we really like and we don't get to see often enough. So have some jigsaw puzzle events coming up, so that'll be kind of fun and exciting. So I did that, and then also one of the things, like I said, doing adult stuff and getting some personal effects in order for end of life preparation. I know that sounds kind of morbid, but I also have to do taxes because taxes are coming up on April 15th. Taxes are due, income taxes are due, and we will be I'll be doing the paperwork for our income taxes hopefully very soon, just to see how much we end up owing, if we do owe, and that way we can kind of get ready to pay taxes. Lots of adulting going on amidst all the fun stuff. So thank you very much for listening in on my life updates. So let's go ahead and get into the stitching. We'll do some March updates so far for my stitching. So for the month of March, I have some sheets here. This is my lovely little, next to my stitching chair tracking sheet for the month of March. The green days that are filled in here are the days that I've had off this month so far. And you can see here, I have days that I haven't stitched. I have a lot of days that I haven't stitched. So far this month, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitching days. In those 5 stitching days, I have stitched a total of 575 stitches over those 5 days. So I've averaged about 105 stitches a day. And I've worked on 2 projects so far for the month of March. The first project that I worked on for the month of March was my Wattobiz mermaid. That is the full coverage stamped cross stitch kit that I rescued from the Amazon return bin store last year. I don't know if you've seen those videos, but I have a video where I show the opening and the unboxing of the floss pack that I received from the company. So let me show you my progress on the Wattobiz mermaid. So I have her on my scroll frame, and this here is what the Wattobiz mermaid is going to look like up here in the corner. That is the Wattobiz mermaid, and this is the stamped cross stitch kit. So I have been working in this upper corner here, and I've been getting a lot of the 3865 off-white worked on here. So my whole goal so far is to kind of finish up this butterfly right here and to work all of these rows pretty much all the way across over to this other side over here. So basically the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so the first 6 rows all the way across is what I'd like to get done on the Wattobiz mermaid. So, this is a stamped cross stitch kit. So if you're not familiar with stamped cross stitch, you can get these full coverage kits online, and usually they come with a full set of floss to do them. You can get them on various counts of fabric. That just happens to be a 16 count kit that I picked up. But you can get them in various counts of fabric, and here you have the Chappa. This is a figurine from one of the video games I've been playing called Palia. This is my Snoopy that I got from my best friend in high school. She sent it to me a couple years ago and surprised me with it. It is a Snoopy from Knott's Berry Farm, and he's holding a bundle of boysenberries. If you're familiar with the Knott's Berry Farm amusement park out in Southern California, you know they're known for their boysenberry items on their food menus. So you get boysenberry punch, boysenberry jam, boysenberry pie, all kinds of stuff. So the Snoopy here is holding a bundle of boysenberries. Knott's Berry Farm also happens to be home to the Camp Snoopy little section of the amusement park. So they have a little Camp Snoopy section. It's all peanuts and stuff. So really kind of neat. But anyway, I spent 2 summers. I spent 2 summers working at Knott's Berry Farm in early college. So I kind of really like Knott's Berry Farm. But anyway, just kind of wanted a little side note about that. So the Wattobiz mermaid, I stitched 454 stitches on that for the mermaid. And then my second piece, so I am in the Sane Stitchers group, and they have a birthday event every year where on sometime during the month of your birthday, you have the option to stitch the 555 challenge. So the whole goal of that is to pick a project and to do 5 sets of 50 stitches to earn 5 entries in the annual drawing that they have at the end of the year. So my 555 project that I chose this year is Carolyn Manning's Flamboyance of Flamingos. Here is what the Flamboyance of Flamingos looks like. It is from the Shooting Stars collection, and this is the collective noun, Shooting Stars. Flamboyance of Flamingos. And with this pattern, you get this big pattern, and then you also get the patterns for this 4 smaller ones. But I am doing the big pattern. So I chose this for my 555 for semi-sane stitchers. And because it's my 55th birthday, I am actually doing 555 5 for it. This is stitched. I'm currently stitching this on a piece of color and cotton hand-dyed fabric, 36 count Edinburgh in the colorway Petunia. And this is, so there's the CNC fabric tag, but this is so far what I've got stitched. So the bits that I worked on, I did some of this darker pink down here and this light peach there. But that is the Flamboyance of Flamingos by Carolyn Manning. I still have 3 sets of 55 stitches to do, so I'm hoping to get those knocked out tomorrow on Sunday. And hopefully that will be everything done for that. All right, so that is really, really exciting. So I have 2 projects that I'm working on. So for the remaining plans for the month of March, I have rejoined my team in survival of the Stitch Village. I am in the Crossville settlement, and I've basically been on leave of absence since sometime late last year, just because I was trying to reduce the amount of tracking and whatnot to kind of simplify my my tracking and all of the um, Facebook groups that I was trying to complete challenges for stitching wise. And I decided to jump back into the Stitchville group because I could pretty much stitch on anything and count my stitches for that. So this week I just recently joined back up and started stitching again for the group. So I am doing that. For WIPGO, WIPGO is a basically like a bingo for your cross stitch works in progress that the mastermind behind it is Jessie Marie Does Stuff here on YouTube. She created this kind of bingo whip game to get more progress done on a lot of her whips. So she the idea kind of took off and everybody wanted to join her, so she kind of opened it up to whoever wants to join. So the premise is you get a bingo board and you fill it up with either prompts or whips, and you create a stitch goal or some sort of goal that you want to accomplish on each of your squares. And then every month, Jessie, on the 25th of the month, Jessie will pick 2 numbers. And those are your focus squares for the month, whether that be a whip or a specific project or just getting a certain amount of stitches done or stitching a certain amount of days on your projects. So for the month of March, the 2 squares that were picked for the month of March is a project in the current season or spring, square number 3. I have chosen Spring Awakens for that. And then I drew a BNS prompt card in my last video, and the prompt that came up was Project with Yellow for square number 4. So for Spring Awakens, for square number 3, which is a project in the current month or spring, so, the project that I have chosen for that is Spring Awakens, and this is by Summer House Stitchworks. Spring Awakens by Summer House Stitchworks. I saw this piece at Cross My Heart a couple years ago, and one of the owners of Cross My Heart, Carol Grant, she had stitched this piece and had it on display, but she had stitched it not in the same colorway that these patterns are stitched in. She picked more spring colors. So I went through my stash and picked some fabric for it. I picked some fabric for it, really pretty color of pink. And then I went through based on Carol's inspiration, I went through and I picked 4 colors of Mo Sale cotton floss. If you've watched my channel, any you know that I have been collecting Mo Sale flosses for a couple of years now. I have quite the collection of it because my mom and I also get the 12 Days of Christmas boxes every year from Mo Sale, and we're gifted a bunch of the colored floss from Mo in those 12 Days of Christmas boxes. So I picked 4 beautiful spring colors. Um, I can go over the colors, but this is going to be my WIPGO Square 3 for this year. And this is where I am starting the stitching. So you can see that I have all 4 colors accounted for on here. I have the yellow in the far left, I have the blue, I have the peach, and then I have the lime green, the very faint lime green. And my needle minder is a little boba tea needle minder. So this is what I'll be working on for my WIPGO Square number 3, Spring Awakens. The colors that I have selected for this, I'm using a piece of Color and Cotton 36 count fruit punch fabric, and the colors I have selected are the yellow is Poisson, the blue is Eastern Sky, the orange is Fanta, and the green is Disco Bunny. So yeah, um, Spring Awakens is going to be my score number 3. Looking forward to digging that back out and working on that again. I don't think I worked on that in 2024 or 2025 rather. So that should be really good, a really good project to get started back. And that kind of has it for my WIPGO for March. So I'll be working on that at some point this month. And March 25th, the April numbers will be called. Jessie Marie will pull the April numbers March 25th. For the Magazine Monthly Challenge group, the Magazine Monthly Challenge group is another Facebook group that has themes and acrostic words every month that you can pick projects to stitch for. The whole premise behind the group was initially to get more progress done on those magazine patterns that you have maybe collected over the years and started. But you know, the rules are pretty lax, so you can kind of pick any projects you want. They offer in the group, they offer a birthday month magazine challenge, theme, and acrostic. So that is kind of what I'm working on this month for March. The birthday month theme for this year is stars, and the acrostic is the word zodiac. So as you can see, I am doing stained glass Hello Kitty as the theme. The Wattobiz Mermaid, which I have completed for Z. The O is Lavender and Orchid Colorful Bunnies. The D is Square Dance. The I is I Am a Custodian. The A is Aquamarine. And C is Patterned Cats. So let me go ahead and show those to you since I do have them here with me. So Stained Glass Hello Kitty is a full coverage piece that I ordered off of Etsy several years ago. And this was a birthday start, I think back in 2021. Let me see when I started this. Nope, I'm sorry. I started this in 2022. And I started this for the Sane 555 that year. Um, this is by this is from an Etsy shop called I Cross Stitch Pattern, and I'm stitching this on 1/1 full cross on 32 count easy count. So here is the stained glass Hello Kitty. I am a lifelong Hello Kitty fan, have been since the 1970s when I was growing up in California. But this is the stained glass Hello Kitty cross stitch piece that I am working on, and it's full coverage. And let me show you what I have done so far. So this is where I've gotten to for the stained glass Hello Kitty. I am working on, I have finished the Gangadon up here. There's a pink teddy bear and a set of 3 little youngsters over here that I am in the process of working on. I am stitching this, I am stitching this 1/1 tent stitch, and this is 32 count, easy count. Each one of these squares on here is 100 stitches, just so you'll know. And I also have my Hello Kitty needle minder here, and also that one there. So yeah, this is my Hello Kitty stained glass. I will hopefully be pulling this out and getting some work done on this very soon. Hopefully by the end of the month. That's my goal. Okay. Stained glass Hello Kitty, and it is in a Mama Joan happy birthday project bag. I chose this project bag for it because I started it last year, or in 22 on my birthday. All right. So the next piece on the Magazine Monthly Challenge um, acrostic for the month is the letter O, Lavender and Orchid Colorful Bunnies. So this is a pattern from Kitty and Me Designs, designed by Pamela Kellogg. She has a whole series of colorful bunnies and colorful cats that she has for sale. And I chose this for stitching. So this is going to be the letter O, Lavender and Orchid, O for Orchid, for the Zodiac Magazine Monthly Challenge acrostic. This piece I started in at Easter of 2020. So right about the time the pandemic started is when I started this piece. And I'm stitching this on a piece of 32 count purple hand dyed that might be from Color and Cotton, but I don't know exactly the fabric, where the fabric came from that I picked for this. So I haven't stitched on this yet, and it's been a year or two since I have stitched on it, but that is where I've gotten to. So I've done the ears and right above the um, bridge of the nose. So you can see here. Yeah, you can see here. Well, maybe not. Well, this is awkward. So there you go. Colorful bunnies. So I will be pulling this out to stitch 200 stitches on it. And also I'm planning on keeping this out through April for obvious reasons to stitch on it for Easter. I also do not think that I stitched on this last year. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did not stitch on it last year. Then the next piece that I'm working on for the Magazine Monthly Challenge acrostic Zodiac is D Square Dance. So this is Heart and Hand Square Dance. So there's 4 patterns. Each pattern has 3 of the months of the year on it. And I will be finishing up hopefully April, May, and June on this. So what I'm doing with these is, instead of stitching them separately, I'm stitching them all in a row, each set of 3 months all in a row, to make a 3-month little pillow that I can put on a dough bowl. And so I am stitching them in a row. It'll make a little more sense when I show you where I'm at and where I'm going to be working. So I started stitching this with October and November. So you can see they're really close together and in a row. And that's where I'm at on April and May. So for the zodiac acrostic, I will be trying to work on April and May and getting that done. June is going right over here. And then that set of 3, just like with October, will become their own little pillows. And I have enough fabric to do the other 6 months when I get there. So my whole goal is to turn these into dough bowl pillows. And I do have all the rest of the patterns in the set. And this is in a, I believe this is a Dot Dot Goose project bag. It's just a kind of a Christmassy little project bag. But that is for the letter D in Zodiac for square dance. Then for the letter I am working on I am a custodian. So in April last year, I attended the Black Needle Society Stitching at Downton retreat. And the Stitching at Downton retreat is one of the Black Needle Society's retreat in a box that you can join every year. And last year was the first year, so we did seasons 1 and 2 for the Downton Abbey. And in April this year, some of my plans in April this year, coming up next month, I am participating in seasons 3 and 4 for Stitching at Downton with the Black Needle Society. So, Catherine Landis, the daughter of the mom and daughter duo from Black Needle Society, created the I am a custodian chart for the Black Needle Society Stitching at Downton retreat in a box. So this is the Highclere Castle, which is where the Downton Abbey series of movies and TV shows has been filmed. So she created this. It's called I Am a Custodian. So the words on the pattern say, I am a custodian, my dear, not an owner. I must strive to be worthy of the task I have been set. So this was the first part that came out for the stitching retreat. I started this at the stitching retreat last April. So I need to dig this out and start working on this again. I am stitching this on a piece of 40 count Grace Notes fabric in the colorway Almond Milk, 1/2 full cross. I've been stitching a lot on 40 count fabrics because I really, really like them. And I like the fact that you can, I really love the fact that you can use one strand of floss to stitch on the 40 count. This piece is a little wrinkly, but here is where I am at on the Highclere Castle. I am not very far. A lot of people actually finished their castle during the retreat last year, so I have a long ways to go to get caught up and to be where I can start the next thing. But I'm probably just going to work on doing this. But this piece of Grace Notes fabric, the 40 count almond milk, the piece itself isn't going to be very big. So this is all the bigger the piece is really going to be. And I have enough fabric to do all the other sets for the Downton Abbey retreat. So that is what I'm going to be working on, and I'm really looking forward to getting more progress on this month. I'm hoping to work on some of it this month, and then definitely for the Stitching at Downton retreat weekend, I'm going to be getting more stitching done on it for sure. So one of the needle minders on here was a needle minder we got in our retreat box. This is the Dowager Countess. Show that to you. So I don't know if you'll be able to see her, but this is the Dowager Countess needle minder from the Black Needle Society stitching a Downton Retreat box. So this is I am a custodian. This is for the letter I in the word zodiac. And I have my piece in a Downton Abbey project bag that I got from Garon Toten Bags. I got the project bag long before I knew Black Needle Society was doing a Stitching a Downton retreat. So I had a different project in here, and so last year, right before the retreat, I pulled the project that was in here out, and I put I am a custodian in here. So now I know my Downton Abbey project bag is I am a custodian. And that project bag again is from Garon Toten Bags. So the next piece that I will be working on is another birthday start, and it is another Carolyn Manning design. I don't have the color version printed out for this, but I am working on Shooting Star Collection Aquamarine by Carolyn Manning. Aquamarine is my birthstone. I am stitching this on a piece of 28 count white even weave using the called for DMC 1/1 full cross. I started this March 18th of 2021, so this was also a birthday start. So this month I'm doing a lot of March projects, and I'm just using basically the called for flosses, but this is where I am at. So if you see the bottom stitching in gray, that is all the bigger the piece is for this, and it's 1/1 full cross. So let me get a little closer. So I'm sorry it darkens up as this gets closer, but there you go. So I have some stitching to do on this as well for the month of March. That is for the letter I in the word zodiac. Be glad that you're getting a little bit of my WIP parade here, but I do owe you a formal WIP parade later on. And then the last letter in the magazine monthly acrostic is C for zodiac, and I am doing patterned cats. So this is a Doreen Jones pattern. She has four patterns in this series. One with 2 cats, one with 3 cats. This colorway is the pink and kind of mauve. I don't know if it's mauve, but it's kind of like the pink colorway. I call it the pink colorway. But this is patterned cats. It is full coverage. And I have it in my Hello Kitty project bag that I purchased from a lady on Facebook. So it's my Hello Kitty project bag, and I am using the called for colors. And this is just a piece of 22 count Hardanger fabric, which is basically 22 count Aida or Aida, however you say it. And I'm stitching this 1/1 full cross again because it is like stitching on 40 count over 2. So, and I can use 1 strand of floss. So this is the pattern cats, and if you see down here, if you compare it to my hand, if you see down here these blue little crosses, that's all the bigger it is. So compared to my hand, it's actually going to be fairly small, all things considered. But I am a fairly decent amount completed on it. I've gotten the head of the big cat, so you can kind of see where I've gotten to, the head of the big cat. And the needle minder on here is 310. 310 is the black cat that is the shop cat at Keepsakes Cross Stitch down in Cincinnati, Ohio. I've been to Keepsakes once. So that is Pattern Cats by Doreen Jones. So I will be pulling that out as well this month. And talk about that here in a minute. All right, so that is pretty much it for the Magazine Monthly challenge groups. I'm also going to be continuing to work on the Pennsylvania, Ohio, and other areas stitching group. They're doing an event where you stitch the acres for your farm. You're building up your farm, you're getting your farm equipment, you're building your farmhouse, you're collecting your animals, and you're plowing and tilling and getting your equipment to basically start building a producing farm. And so I started stitching that last year for the acreage, and I'll be continue working on that. You can work on any WIP, and you have stitch goals that you have to meet for that. For the group Magical Stitches, this year we are doing Agatha Christie, the Hercule Poirot murder mysteries. And so this month we're reading the first book. It's called Mysterious Affair at Styles. I am reading the books along with the group this year, and it's kind of interesting because I haven't read Agatha Christie books before. My mother-in-law was an avid Agatha Christie fan. She had pretty much all the mystery books. She was an avid murder mystery reader, and so it's been kind of interesting to start with the first Hercule Poirot book, because the language that's used and the vocabulary in there is slightly different because it's an older book written at a different time. So I've had to keep a notebook next to my bed where I read most of the time, so I could write down some words that I have to look up the meanings to that I can't quite figure out. So that's been kind of interesting. I've learned some interesting things, and it's been an interesting challenge. But I'm getting through the book. I'm not quite halfway through, and I'm really enjoying it. So I think I'm gonna be liking these murder mysteries by Agatha Christie. So I will be stitching the some of the monthly prompts and some of the other challenges that come up in the Magical Stitches group based on the Agatha Christie books that we're reading this year. So I'm getting through those pretty well. For Crafts and Books is another Facebook group where it involves also reading challenges as well as stitching prompts and whatnot. They have an acrostic this month called Daffodil. The acrostic is the word daffodil, and for the two F's, I am using Flamboyance of Flamingos that I showed you earlier, where I was working on it earlier this month. Then in WIP Warriors, I had originally started out doing stitching for a shop because they are running a game, like an adventure game, and I was just going to be a shop owner. Well, I haven't stitched for my shop since January, and the adventurers are already traveling around, and I don't think I'm going to be able to keep up with that stitching kind of requirement. Part of my simplify thing is I think I'm stepping back from that. But WIP Warriors also has an event going on right now. If you're aware, there is I forget the official term for it, but here in the United States, Survivor is a really popular TV show, and I really like watching Survivor. Survivor 50 is going on right now, and there is a WIP Warriors Survivor event for the US where you pick up to 4 WIPs, and each team has a WIP, and depending on what happens during that week's episode, you stitch a certain amount of stitches for different things for those teams and what happens. Like if somebody finds an immunity idol, if somebody wins a reward challenge, if somebody goes home with the immunity in their pocket, just stuff like that. So you have to stitch for each pattern, depending on what happens with the group the pattern is assigned to. So that is interesting. It's been kind of fun. I am woefully way behind because I've only stitched on one project for weeks 1 and 2 so far, and we are going into week 4. So I have a lot of stitching to catch up for the WIP Warrior Survivor. All right, so that kind of breaks down what is going on for me for March, what I've done so far in March, and what I'm planning to do for the rest of the month. I have a lot of stitching going on, just kind of taking it easy and doing all kinds of fun stuff. So, let me actually show you something to kind of go along with that, we're going to switch over to punch needle really quick because I forgot that I wanted to share this with you. This is actually the second time I'm doing this video. I recorded this video really late last night and I went to edit it and I found out that the sound is not doing really good. The sound was really hard to hear and went in and out and everything. So let me dig out the punch needle stuff that I wanted to share with you. So this is currently my WIP box for punch needle. So you can see here I have a 4th of July set of patriotic hats that I'm currently in the process of punching. So I have a couple of Easter projects in here. This is by CGK Crafts. This is an Easter lamb, and it's supposed to be a little stand-up. So I have all the stuff to punch that in here, and I'll be hopefully working on that for the month of April. I also have this Easter montage punch needle by Twisted Threads. It was a little kit that I picked up from Cross My Heart. So you can see it has the little pattern and the flosses in it. And then I have this other little kit that I picked up. This is by Wool and Thread Designs. It's called Bunny Blooms. It's just some daisies. Has a really pretty piece of green fabric, and it also has the Weeks Dye Works and the Classic Color Works. But yes, it is punch needle. So those are 3 Easter punch needle things that I'm hoping to work on sometime either this month or next month and get those done. I'd like to get some punch needle finish. All right. So coming up in April, like I said before, April 22nd through the 26th, which is a Wednesday through Sunday, the Black Needle Society is holding their Stitching at Downton seasons 3 and 4, stitching online virtual stitching retreat. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And then on May 1st through May 3rd, the first weekend in May, Mom and I are going up to the Youngstown, Ohio area, up that way, for the Spring Stitchin' Retreat. The Spring Stitchin' Retreat actually is one of 2 retreats held up in the Warren, Ohio area that Mom and I have been going to for the last couple of years. And it's a rather small retreat. There's usually only about 40 people there, give or take. And small group of people, all you do is sit in the stitching room at the hotel and sit and stitch. And that's it. That's all you're doing is sitting and stitching. You talk, they're doing a smalls exchange this time. I don't think I'm going to participate in the smalls exchange, but also one of the ladies there, she normally gathers all the free stuff that people want to kind of donate to the free giveaway, and she organizes it into piles, and everybody's given little raffle tickets, and they put little bins or little baggies on the piles of the free to take home things, and everybody gets a chance to win a pile. And then after the raffle is done and everybody gets their thing, they can swap and trade and whatnot during the whole raffle. It's kind of like a white elephant kind of gift exchange kind of thing, but then everybody gets the chance to put whatever they don't really want to keep in their pile in a big stack, and then people can go through it and just take home whatever people don't want. So that's a lot of fun. That happens on Saturday night usually, so probably be taking some stuff for that. But Mom and I are really looking forward to going to our first stitching retreat the weekend of May 1st. So that'll be a lot of fun. So then in June, as I said, my husband and I are pretty avid board gamers. We have the large Origins Game Fair board game convention coming up in June downtown at the Columbus Convention Center. And there's 15 to 20,000 people that show up for that. And we're going to be down there basically Wednesday through Saturday and just enjoying more board games. So that's coming up in June. So that is all I have for plans coming up. Hopefully, that kind of piques your interest a little bit, and you've seen some stitching stuff that might interest you. So now we're going to talk a little bit about haul. This is stitching stuff that I have gotten over the years. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about haul. So I showed you the colorful bunnies, lavender and orchid bunny from Kitty and Me Designs earlier for the Magazine Monthly Challenge Zodiac acrostic. Kitty and Me Designs, if you sign up on their Facebook group, every year, you have to sign up every year, they will send you a special birthday colorful cat pattern that is only released that year to the people who sign up on their birthday list. And they send it to you on or around your birthday every year. So Wednesday morning, I was like, so I had seen a post where somebody had posted their colorful cats pattern. And I was like, I forgot to sign up for the Kitty and Me Designs. So I went to the Kitty and Me Design, the Friends of Kitty and Me Designs Facebook group, found out what I needed to do to send an email, and I sent the email to receive my colorful cats. So this is the Kitty and Me Designs Colorful Cats 2026 birthday pattern. I hope you like it. It is called Bubbles. Look how cute this cat is. So this is designed by Pamela Kellogg from Kitty and Me Designs. Look how cute the cat is, you guys. The cat is really cute. Really, really cute. It's pinks and blues and mauves. Pinks and blues. Really, really cute. And his name is Bubbles because he's got all the little bubbles all around him. Really cute. Okay. So, um, the information on how to sign up, I'll put the link to the Facebook group down below, but there's information, there's a post, I think, in the featured tab of the Facebook group that tells you how to contact somebody via email to get your name on the list. And if your name or if your birthday has already passed, it is not too late to sign up. As soon as they get your request to be added to the list, if your birthday has passed in March or was in January or February, they will send you the pattern, because I actually got mine on Thursday the 19th. So they will send you the pattern if your birthday has already passed. So, and it's free. And the patterns go up for sale the following year to the general public. So if you've missed prior years' Colorful Cats birthday sale or birthday patterns, you can actually go to the Kitty and Me Designs. I believe the Etsy shop has them. So you can go to the Kitty and Me Design shop and purchase previous year's birthday patterns. All right. So the next thing that I received in the mail, or that is coming in the mail, I haven't received it yet. I had to renew my Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine subscription. And the spring 2026 issue is out for Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. And so I had to renew. I don't know when or necessarily if I'll be getting the actual print copy, but if you have a print or digital subscription to Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, you have access to every single back issue of the magazine all the way back to 2015. So you have 10 years of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine issues that you can download. So the new one is out and it's on the website. This is it. So on the cover, you have the really cute Bird in Hand Primitives Winston's Tulip Wagon bunny. You have this Giulia Puntini Antici from Puntini, the wonderful little Dutch doll with the flower skirt. Then you have this really super cute pink sheep from Happy Cat Stitchery. That is a punch needle. The tulip wagon, the bunny with the letters and the tulip wagon, that is also a punch needle. And then you have this really cute cross stitch farm setting by Finally a Farm Girl. It is cross stitched. And it looks like it's stitched over one. Let me go ahead and make this bigger for you so you can kind of get a better idea of the patterns. And I will move this around. So this is Winston's Tulip Wagon, the bunny right here. Then over here you have the Dutch doll. You stitch the skirt and then use a Dutch doll body to attach to it. I think this pink sheep is really, really stinking cute. I'll probably end up punching that. And I might actually punch that for April as well. Just do that with the 3 other Easter 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 punches that I have to do. And then this, let me see if I can make this bigger. There we go. This is the Finally a Farm Girl um little farm scene that you have. You have the little sheep on the hill, you have the bunnies holding the basket, you have the bee skip and the little basket of carrots and the little bird on the birdhouse and the bluebird on the quilt on the fence, little farmhouse. Really cute. So I don't do walkthroughs or flip throughs for these magazines, just because it's not something that I do. There are quite a few patterns in this Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine issue, though, that I am going to be doing, like especially that pink sheep. I don't know if I'll do Winston's Tulip Wagon, but I also kind of really want to do the Finally a Farm Girl farmhouse scene in there as well. So there is the most recent issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine that is out now. I also received the spring 2026 issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine. I also do not do a flip through of the this magazine for you. If you follow Carolyn Zook from C Zook Stitch here on YouTube, she does an excellent walkthrough of all the magazines that she subscribes to, including Just Cross Stitch. So you can go to her channel and find all the different magazines that she does a flip through of. There are a couple of really cute patterns in here that I kind of want to highlight. Um, Halloween favorites, this little black cat. It's really cute. There is a really pretty butterfly in here. I think this bee is cute. I might actually stitch that bee. That bee is really cute. I don't know if I'd stitch the stuff around it, but I might actually stitch the bee and turn him into a like a dough bowl pillow. Okay, I'm gonna flip through a little bit more. This is cute too. Fledgling's first pick. So fledgling's first little flower, little teeny thing. I'm trying to get to the butterfly that I think is really pretty in here. There's some Easter eggs. There's a rabbit. Um, really want. Oh, this is another thing that's really really cute that I might end up stitching. So this is Tales Paper Doll series Penelope. So this is the first in a series of 4 little perforated paper dolls that will be showing up in the Just Cross Stitch magazine. So you have Penelope the porcupine. And then coming soon, you have the bear, the fox, and the penguin. So those also give you the issues that you can find them in. So those are really cute. Let me see if I can get so I'm doing a little bit more of the all right. So I should have flagged it, but I didn't find the butterfly that I was hoping to find. So anyway, um there's more in this issue than I originally thought I was going to be interested in stitching. So when I first did the flip through of the magazine for myself and in front of my mom, there wasn't a lot that I really found intriguing in this magazine. But the more and more I kind of flip through it, the more there's a few things that I'd actually think I'd like to stitch. So the latest issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine is out. And I do believe that if you have a print subscription as well, that you can actually download the Just Cross Stitch magazines as well. So there is that. So that is all of the magazine and non-market releases that I have. So on Wednesday for my birthday, my mom and I went to Cross My Heart, our local needle workshop here in Columbus. And they had a lot of their Nashville needlework market goodies that they purchased 2 weeks ago out for sale already. So, Mom bought me the 2026 Nashville Needlework Market Cookbook. We have quite a selection of these from the last several years now. Um, if you're not familiar with the Nashville Needlework Market, it is a trade show where all the shop owners and online shop owners can go and purchase wholesale all the designs and everything from the designers that design specifically to be released at the Nashville Needlework Market. So it's all basically shop owners and whatnot that get to go shop here. So it's not open to the public. And they produce a cookbook. All the designers, most of the designers get together and they submit recipes. And in the cookbook, there's also really cute cross stitch patterns. So I've been collecting these over the years to get the cross stitch patterns. This is a really cute one that was in the booklet this year. This is from Silver Creek Samplers. This is called Go Ahead, Bake My Day. Go Ahead, Bake My Day by Silver Creek Samplers. It's a piece of cake. Bake my day. So if you haven't considered getting the cookbooks, you might want to see if there's a way that you can order the cookbooks online. Um, because you're missing out on quite a lot of there's probably a good 20 or 30 small cross stitch patterns in the cookbook. And you're also missing out on a lot of good potential recipes. This is another one that I thought was really pretty. This is the All American no, this is what's it called? The Brightest Star. This one's called the Brightest Star cross stitch pattern. Look at that, you guys. You could do that any colorway that you wanted. But look how pretty that is. That is really neat. So yeah, I would encourage you to get out and purchase the Nashville Needlework Market cookbooks because you get actually really nice cross stitch pieces in there that you can do. So there's just some really cute things in here and some really good sounding recipes too. So yeah. And then I picked up a new pattern from a designer that I haven't actually necessarily heard of before now, and also that I don't own any other patterns from. It's from Fine Frog Stitching, and the pattern is called Longest Night. Um, I really like bunny rabbits, and I have liked bunny rabbits ever since I was young. It's just like my love of Hello Kitty. My love of bunny rabbits is about as strong, not quite as strong as Hello Kitty, but it's pretty strong. And my love of cats is right up there with my love of bunny rabbits. But anyway, this is called The Longest Night. Look at that bunny, you guys. Look at the bunny. Longest Night. He is actually not very big. He is 34 stitches by 61 stitches. And he's going to be a really quick stitch. And I'll probably end up stitching him. I don't know if I'll stitch him on the dark fabric as he's pictured, but I'll probably end up stitching him and turning him into a stand-up or a double pillow. A stand-up double pillow. There you go. And then the last pattern that I got from Market was Heart and Hand. They released a new Tiny Town. I've been collecting a lot of the Tiny Town patterns from Heart and Hand. And this is called Needleworkers Tiny Town. Needleworkers Tiny Town. So this is what it looks like. Cecilia Turner is the designer behind Heart and Hand patterns. Now, a lot of times they picture these as stitched as a drum or stitched as a row. When I go to stitch these, I'm going to stitch all of mine as a row because I think drums are hard to display and you can't see everything unless you have it on something that spins it around for people to look at. So I think I would rather stitch it in a row like that and display them. So I have quite a few of these Tiny Town patterns from Heart and Hand that are in my stash. All right. So some exciting things. If you watched one of my last videos, I did a separate video. Anyway, if you watched one of my more recent videos, you know that I did a 2.5 or a zero point 0.5 interlude type of video where I forgot to share with you a Wattobiz stamped cross stitch kit that I received in the mail that I forgot to share with you. Um, I have to say that I did a whoops. I have a whoops. And I accidentally ordered a second one of the Seasons stamped cross stitch kit. Now, Wattobiz is doing a stitch along starting April 1st of this pattern. And there were 2 iterations of this pattern that we could pick. One of them has the seasons at the top, like this one, the one that I picked. And the other one, I believe, is either in the middle or on the bottom. I can't remember. And I liked it at the top a little bit better, but I had forgot that I already ordered one. And so this came in the mail on my birthday. And I was like, I think I ordered it. So I double checked with Sandy, the owner of Wattobiz Cross Stitch, and sure enough, I'd actually placed the order twice. So I have 2 of them. So what I was thinking about maybe doing is doing one of them as a whole piece like this for a wall thing, and then using the second kit to just do each of the individual seasoned houses as their own little thing. I'll have enough fabric for this one. This is also a 20 count kit. The other one is a 20 count kit as well. So I have exactly the same flosses and the same fabric in here. I'm not going to open it up for you, but it's the exact same stuff that I think I can, and since I have the paper pattern in here as well, I can probably rinse the fabric to get the colors off of it, or just stitch it using the fabric and the paper pattern on here, and just stitch the individual houses so I can cut them out and either turn them into a pillow or frame them separately, or do something with, I'll figure out something to do with them, but I think the second kit I'm going to use to do the houses individually. So there is that. So I'm going to do one of them, the full like wall pattern, and then that way I have something to display maybe in another room. And I'm going to do the individual houses and maybe put them up on our fireplace mantle or something for the seasons. So I think that's what I'm going to do with the 2 kits. But yeah, I accidentally ordered a second Wattobiz cross stitch kit, unfortunately. So along the lines of the stamped cross stitch kits, unfortunately, I already opened this up last night, so I know what the kit is. But there is another company out there called Painting Fairy Cross Stitch, and they also do stamped cross stitch kits that include the stamped fabric, the flosses, some accessories and stuff to go along with your kit, but they offer specific artwork. Now, one of the things you have to be careful, some of these companies use AI artwork. And so some of the pictures, you kind of have to look at them before you order, because you'll get people with 6 fingers. You'll get animals with 5 legs or 3 legs or weird legs or weird appendages, or just things just look kind of weird because they're generated using AI. Or the other thing that you have to be careful with is that some of these companies, because they're overseas, like say in China, they do not comply with copyright laws. So some of these companies, Painting Fairy Cross Stitch is actually included in this, will sell kits that they do not have licensing for. For instance, there's been a few companies that show up with Mirabilia kits for some of the Mirabilia mermaids and some of the other big ladies, especially the ones designed by Marilyn Leavitt Emblem, who is Nora Corbett's mom. Marilyn Leavitt Emblem has passed away. She passed away back in 2012, I believe. And some of her patterns are showing up on Chinese websites, Temu, AliExpress, all that stuff. as kits, none of her patterns were really ever kits. And absolutely none of her patterns have ever been digital. So if you find a digital copy of some of the more well-known designers online, chances are likely that digital copy is basically an illegal copyright violation copy of the pattern. So keep that in mind if you're going to purchase. It's buyer beware. But anyway, so I was looking at the Painting Fairy Facebook group, and somebody had, I don't know if it was an ad or an unboxing or a stitch along of a cartoon anime style stamped cross stitch kit, but I saw this particular piece and I really, really wanted it. And the only place I know of to get it is Painting Fairy Cross Stitch. So I went ahead and ordered the kit and it came this week. I had completely forgot that I ordered the kit. But anyway, this is the Painting Fairy Cross Stitch kit and it's called Plush Companions and the Stars. So keep in mind that they take liberties with renaming the artwork, and a lot of times they don't and they won't credit the original authors. I do not know where this artwork might have come from and who the artist is. I'd like to find out, but I just haven't done the legwork yet. Shame on me for doing that, but I haven't done the legwork yet. But this is the only time that I have seen this artwork. So this is the kit that I got. Look how stinking cute that is, you guys. It's really, 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 really cute. It's right up my alley. So I'm looking forward to starting this. This may actually be an April start for me, along with the Wattobiz season stitch along that is coming up. But again, this is Painting Fairy Cross Stitch. Let me take this out. I went through this kit last night, so this kit's already been opened. I already know what to expect and what's in the kit and all that. So I can kind of walk you through this. So the first thing you get is the little booklet. This little booklet it's just stapled at the top. It's not a printed booklet. It's simply stapled at the top. But you get your floss listing here. And then you get part of the printed pattern. So you get the printed pattern, and then the pattern itself is actually stamped onto the cross stitch. So the bag says this is either 18 or 20 count, and I specifically ordered the 20 count fabric. So I'll get to that in a minute. So in the kit, you get this nice little card. Now this is translated as best as they can translate it into English. It's explains how they process their floss in their kits. They say they use DMC floss, but they use Persian cotton. So I don't know if it's necessarily DMC floss. It might actually be CXC floss because the Wattobiz kit uses CXC floss, and CXC floss is really soft and it's actually been really good to work with. I've been using the CXC floss on the Wattobiz mermaid. But anyway, this little pamphlet kind of talks about their how they process their flosses. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Then they sent me this nice little freebie. So I was given a skein of what they say is DMC floss. But the interesting thing is the DMC label that's normally on the embroidery floss has been replaced by a Painting Fairy cross stitch label. So this little label here is actually a Painting Fairy cross stitch label. But the DMC color here is 839 and it's the typical 839 DMC color label. So I got a free skein of 839 floss. So thank you very much for that. And then they give you a little instruction card about their floss. And it's a little stitching guideline for the different stitches you can encounter with their kits. And then on the back, they give the instructions about how to clean your fabric once you're done stitching to remove the print. And then in my nice little baggie was this cute little drawstring accessories pack. Let me go through this. So in the accessories pack, I got a set. Of Yidam size 26 cross stitch needles. They're tapestry needles. So you can see that Yidam 26 cross stitch needles. I've never used this brand of needles before, but they gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They gave me 8 needles in the pack. So that is really cool. One of the other things that they gave me floss bobbins. So if you watch anybody that has parked threads in their cross stitch kit, these little bobbins. So what you do is you take your loose threads, you undo them like this, and then you can wind your threads around the middle of them, and then you close this back up on the threads, and it keeps your threads tidy and also keeps your loose threads clean if you park threads. So I got 3 of these little bobbins. One of the other things that I've noticed these stamped cross stitch kit companies do, they provide you little rubber fingertip grips, and that one just went rolling. But they give you little rubber fingertip grips, so you put it on your finger, and you have protection from the needles. So like it helps you grip the needles and pull them through the fabric. And then, so I don't think I have a set of scissors quite this big, but they also sent a really big pair of scissors to use on your kit. These seem to be pretty nice. They're not terribly super heavy, but these scissors are not TSA compliant, so you cannot and likely will not be able to take these on an airplane with you because these are about 4 inches long and they're super pointy. And it does come with a little rubber tip to protect the scissor tip. But nice little pair of scissors to go along with our kit. So that was the little stitching accessories kit. So wrapped up in the printed cross stitch fabric is your flosses. And all the flosses for this kit are on these floss cards. These are hard plastic floss cards that they have put stickers on. And the floss cards have the Painting Fairy logo emblazoned or etched into them, so you know where it came from, and really nicely tied together to keep the flosses straight. There is a sticker on here with the DMC color numbers for all the flosses on here, and this card has 2 cards worth of floss colors. But look at the floss colors in this. This is going to be really fun. Lots of very vivid vivid colors in here. Looking forward to getting into this. And then here is the stamped kit. So I got the 20 count fabric. This is definitely 20 count. So the stitch count on this is 194 by 194. So here is the fabric. And on 20 count, this is quite small. Compared to the mermaid, this is quite small. So yeah, you can see the one which is right here. So I'm looking forward to doing this. And stamped cross stitch, the colors on the fabric are never going to be the exact colors that you're going to stitch. So the colorway on the fabric is going to look a lot different than what you stitch and what the final product is after you're done stitching. But the fabric at the top is stamped with fairy cross stitch, and then you have the schematic down the side. So this one looks like there's 48 colors, 49 colors. There is 49 colors in the cross stitch thing, and it looks like there's all full crosses in this. It doesn't look like there's any specialty. So, but this is the stamped cross stitch. This is only 194 by 194. And one of the things that you have to be careful with stamped cross stitch, if you get the fabric wet, the ink will go away and it'll smear, because the whole goal of this is once you stitch it, you're supposed to soak it to get rid of the ink. The ink dissolves in water. So you don't ever want to get this wet, ever, until you're done stitching it. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Get my flosses back in the kit, kind of wrapped up in the fabric. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do it this way. There we go. And so that is my first painting fairy cross stitch kit. I'm looking forward to starting this. I think this artwork is really cute, and I'd like to get more like this. If I can find the PDF patterns of artwork like this, I'd really, really, really love to get more of these. I'm still getting into stamped cross stitch, and I would like to try more stamped cross stitch things. But again, buyer beware. You have to be careful, because some of the stamped cross stitch companies are known for not getting licensing for the stuff that they produce. So hopefully this is on the up and up as far as a stamped cross stitch kit goes. But if somebody finds out that it's not, and if they could link me to the actual artist and where I might be able to kind of send the artist some money if they find that this is indeed not a licensed piece of artwork, I would be really appreciative if that information is passed on to me. But this is another stamped cross stitch kit that I will be digging into. So I have 4 stamped cross stitch kits. I have the Wattobiz Mermaid right there that is stamped. I have the Wattobiz Auction Win colorful cat that I got from the auction sometime late last year. I have the Wattobiz Seasons Sal, and I also now have the little cartoonish witch pattern. So I'm kind of getting into stamped cross stitch. It's been fun working on the Wattobiz Mermaid. I don't have to really pull up a pattern. I can just kind of get on there and start stitching, and the it's been kind of nice. So yeah, I'm really kind of digging all that. So that is everything I have for you today. That was a long video, an hour and a half long. Really kind of glad that I came here to share with you. Sorry that my videos have been so long, but I needed to get out and share everything with you. So that is everything I have for you now. So thank you very much for stopping by. I'm really glad you came, and I'm really glad you're here. I'm really glad to have you as a friend. So thank you. If you're going through some stuff and everything, just know that you matter, that you're loved, you belong here. You have somebody that you can come talk to, hopefully, if you don't think anybody else around you can listen. Please reach out. I will do my best to talk to you, to maybe use my resources to find help if you need it. But you belong, you are loved, you are welcome, you matter, and you're very important. So keep that in mind, and please reach out if you need some help. If your family is no longer accepting of you for whatever reason, know that you have a home here, and that I'm your family now. And again, reach out if you think you need some help, and I will do my best to help you. I give mom hugs. And if your family is no longer accepting of you, you have a family with me. So just know that I love you, I welcome you, I cherish you, and everything like that. So until our next video, and until our next time together, keep your head up and keep moving forward because that's all we can do. I've got a lot of adulting to do. I have a lot of end of life preparation type stuff that I have to start considering now that I'm another year older. And I'll be getting into that very soon. So thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing with me. And thank you for letting me share with you my love of all the stuff. So thank you. And take care. Until next time. Bye, everybody.